In 2022, about 2 years ago, Microsoft's Xbox actually had some official statements that went to the point of telling us exactly how much, or at least a range of how much they lose on every Xbox console sold. Matthew Humphries on PC Mag basically wrote down this article and said Microsoft loses up to $200 on every Xbox console sold. The hope is that the loss will be made back from accessories, subscriptions, and game purchases. Game purchases, basically, and also microtransaction purchases, this is something that we need to also put here. But this was a very pivotal moment because not only did we get this information, there was also the conversation about Sony too, whom was first losing money on their $499 PS5, but eventually they reported that it was no longer the case, but the digital $399 version still had to make up with other sales as well. The particular number was so cool that to me, it made a whole lot of sense how not only was Microsoft hemorrhaging cash and not being able to sell as many consoles, but they needed to go ahead and change their strategy. So what did they do? They basically put themselves in a position where owning the console was no longer a prerequisite to be able to play the games. They were testing xCloud a long time ago. I got into the beta for that, where we were testing it on our cell phones to see if we could stream, cloud, games on your phones. And that was actually a decent service. I remember playing it on a cheap Motorola phone that I had, like $150 Motorola. At the time, compared to other phones, it was quite cheap. Think about it. But you could connect your Xbox controller to this particular tiny phone, and you could play Xbox games games that were in the program at the time. Some of them are third-party games, some of them are Xbox games. For me, what was the biggest litmus test was I tried Tekken with it, and the latency was just quite beautiful on even crappy out-in-the-country internet. So I'd always seen Microsoft basically holding the cloud, proposition and being quite threatening since they had the infrastructure. But little did anybody know, nor did I even see something like this coming. And I'd always talked about this whole fridge, joke that very soon Xbox is going to make your refrigerator an Xbox machine. So let's look at this Xbox gaming, and its move to Amazon Fire TV, because this now has boycotted the entirety of the possibility of losing more money every time they sell a console, and also bringing it where now that particular cost, in terms of expecting somebody to pay $500 or $300, has now simply been reduced to $50. You see, the language is very important, and you got to look at it very well. At Xbox, we're committed to bringing the joy and community of gaming to everyone. Today, we're announcing a collaboration with Amazon where Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members in over 25 countries can play games directly from the Xbox app on select Fire TV devices via cloud gaming, giving people even more choice in how they play their favorite games. In July, the Xbox app will be available on Fire Stick TV, so the 2023 version for $60 and the Fire Stick 4K, the 2023 version for $49. For people new to console gaming or for those looking for another way to play, it's a great low cost, convenient and portable option to enjoy a huge library of incredible games. This is interesting from every front because, again, we've been talking about this from the perspective of the cost itself. Because expecting somebody to jump into your ecosystem with a fee of about $500 is absurd and ridiculous. This is what they call a perfect storm in some cases, or a perfect intersection in some other cases. A perfect storm when it's in regard to Sony PlayStation. They harped heavily on their old school model while Xbox was trying something different, and the economy, the circumstances, and everything just seemed to line up for them. They just happened to be in this really strange position, which is weird because of both companies. My favorite is actually PlayStation. Some of you may not know. I'm a hard hitter. Whenever I hold someone accountable, I hold them almost to the point where they might even suffocate. So I'm holding PlayStation so accountable right now. It's so jarring for a lot of PlayStation fans. They think I hate PlayStation, but this is how I am. I really don't play around. So now I'm actually getting on PlayStation's neck and saying, y'all gotta do something. Y'all have got to make the move. Guys, I traveled to a different state to buy my PlayStation 5. This is how much I've always dialed in with the PlayStation platform. But once I realized that this, particular platform holder was not going to reciprocate even anything close to that kind of dedication, or at least that kind of patronage that I showed when I bought my PS5, I switched it up and I said, nah, We need to start pointing these things out, and we need to inform people. Now, if you still like PlayStation, that's fine. If you think I was the fool for driving all the way to a different state to buy my PS5, no problem. But by all means, try to hold back the Xbox claims and the Xbox comments when it comes to me, because I just ordered my Series X online. I was like, I am not going through anything to try to get a Series X, because majority of my library at the time, I'd been moving to PC since 2016, and I was like, well, let me see if I can still carry my PlayStation library. But with the way PlayStation has been treating things, I am not ready to actually move anywhere near a PlayStation after this generation is over. In fact, I don't think they can actually in any way try to win, my patronage back. I think it's over. It's kind of too late. Enjoying, PC right now and going back to it and being able to basically assess everything I want to. And Xbox seems to also know this, because my Series X is a dust gatherer until I have to use it for dev mode. That's basically why it sits here. But now they're no longer in a position where they need you to buy their, console. They just want to find a way to get you in their ecosystem. This makes PlayStation look like a dinosaur. And I think PlayStation's own playbook is right in front of them. I've been saying this for the longest time. PlayStation needs to make that move and bring its platform to Steam and just hit heavily. Because there are people who are not interested in jumping over from PC to console, nor are there people who are interested in jumping from console to PC. At the end of the day, what makes money is software. There is no world in which your software sales, having covered your cost, is going to be a bad thing. So anywhere you are able to put your games is always the winning formula. This is why even now that I'm saying, PlayStation needs to dial in and move their games to PC, their games are already on PC. What I'm saying is now they need to be much more urgent, because their urgency is what's going to really close the gap in this competitive market. They have the game pipelines, even though those pipelines are not necessarily unique anymore. I mean, we have other studios that are making games available to everyone and doing 25 or more million copies in terms of their sales, while PlayStation will take a while before it reaches there, if at all their games reach that point. Uncharted is one of those games which has been my favorite for the longest time, and it did reach that point, which I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of happy about. Only downside is they wanted me to pay $10 to upgrade my Uncharted 4 on the PS5, which I thought was a whole bunch of baloney. That's again another thing that PlayStation did that made me go, really? You made the 60 FPS patch, and for those of us who basically patronized the game, by the way, I bought a physical copy of Uncharted 4. That's how much I wanted to play this game. I went in and I bought a physical copy, and they want me to pay $10 for an FPS upgrade? What? Heck no. I have a PC for that, to be able to do that. So when you look at it, I think right now we're in a position where Xbox seems to be very vocal even about it. They're no longer, in a sense, trying to hide it. I think once they realize that they're no longer beholden to what people on the internet who portray themselves to be hardcore gamers say or think, but business has got a business, they've decided to basically just, say all bets are off. This says to get started, players just need their Fire Stick, a Bluetooth-enabled wireless controller, and an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate membership to gain instant access to hundreds of phenomenal games, including Senua Saga, Hellblade 2, Starfield, and Forza Horizon, among others. Plus, Bethesda Game Studios' beloved Fallout games are also available with Game Pass Ultimate, including Fallout 76, Fallout 4. Fallout fans will be able to play these games on select Amazon Fire TV devices, alongside the acclaimed Fallout TV show on Prime Video, which released in April. Wow. Undercutting what had been undercutting you, finding a solution to a problem. This is how you stay in business. And I think PlayStation understands exactly what they need to do. I mean, can anybody really tell me that PlayStation is going to sit there and try to, push another 50 million consoles as their response to this? It's going to be exponentially challenging to meet up with this particular kind of base if you do not move to this direction. And I think PlayStation is also going to follow suit. That's for sure. Because do you know what's happened now? PlayStation is basically, or Xbox has basically put itself in a position where it can try to leverage another few 100 million possible Game Pass subscribers. Not saying they're going to convert all of them, but it is a very interesting exposure. So I've seen a lot of those people say Game Pass was going to try to reach 100 million. Ladies and gentlemen, you were talking, right? Those of you that were saying that, you were talking. You weren't paying attention. I wasn't even thinking they were going to go this route. But now they're going to go this route. I'm sure you can see how that 100 million is not necessarily too far off. In fact, to be honest, I don't want them to hit that 100 million until PlayStation has a response. Because if they hit that 100 million, what happens now is they gain even more of an advantage over PlayStation. No, I need them to keep fighting because I keep benefiting from the wars that both of them, the corporate wars that both of them are engaging in. It's fun. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys so much. Peace out.